Chronic kidney disease is a progressive condition that impacts millions of individuals globally. While CKD often remains undetected in its early stages, its progression can lead to severe complications, including kidney failure. Let me share with you a common scenario that I see in my clinical practice. Meet Jamie, a 45-year-old woman who has never seen a doctor and has no previous lab test results. Her initial lab work shows a serum creatinine level of 1.5 and an estimated GFR of 55. Does this suggest chronic kidney disease? To answer that, let's first define what chronic kidney disease is. Chronic kidney disease is defined by the presence of abnormal renal structure or function lasting for at least 3 months. The persistence of this damage or decreased function for a minimum of 3 months is necessary to differentiate chronic kidney disease from acute kidney injury. For our patient, Jamie, if we repeat her serum creatinine in 3 months and it remains at least 1.5 with an estimated GFR persistently less than 55, we can say that she has chronic kidney disease. If Jamie is diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, how can we predict her risk of progressing to end-stage kidney disease? The stage of CKD helps determine the patient's risk of developing end-stage renal disease. Staging is based on two factors: estimated glomerular filtration rate, or eGFR, and albuminuria. This dual estimated GFR and albuminuria staging system allows us to identify which patients are at highest risk of progressing to end-stage kidney disease. Stage G1 is defined as CKD stage where the eGFR is not significantly reduced, but there's presence of anatomical defects or findings of kidney damage such as albuminuria, hematuria, or electrolyte abnormalities. G2 is an estimated GFR between 60 to 89. G3A is an estimated GFR between 45 and 59. G3B is an estimated GFR between 30 and 44. G4 is an estimated GFR between 15 and 29. G5 is an estimated GFR below 15. Staging CKD also involves the degree of albuminuria. A1 is normal, where the urine albumin creatinine ratio is less than 30. A2 is a urine albumin creatinine ratio between 30 and 300, signifying moderately increased albuminuria. And A3 is a urine albumin and creatinine ratio of more than 300, known as severely increased albuminuria. So, if a patient has an eGFR of 40 and urine albumin to creatinine ratio of 50, he has CKD stage 3B, A2. CKD stage 5 is defined as an estimated GFR of less than 15, and end-stage kidney disease is defined as CKD stage G5 treated with chronic dialysis or kidney transplantation. Screening for chronic kidney disease is typically recommended for individuals who are at increased risk. High-risk groups include patients with diabetes, hypertension, or a family history of kidney disease. Patients are generally asymptomatic until they have stage G4 and G5. In advanced CKD, patients may present with symptoms of fluid overload such as peripheral edema and uremia. Uremic symptoms include fatigue, nausea, loss of appetite, difficulty sleeping, irritability, confusion, and pruritus. The most common causes of CKD include diabetes, hypertension, and glomerulonephritis. If the urine protein creatinine ratio is higher than urine albumin creatinine ratio, consider plasma cell dyscrasia. A urine protein electrophoresis can identify other urine proteins such as Bence-Jones protein other than albumin. Kidney biopsy is not routinely indicated. A kidney biopsy is considered in cases of rapidly declining kidney function or when the CKD present with atypical features such as nephrotic syndrome, hematuria, or systemic symptoms. A kidney biopsy is also considered to confirm the cause of chronic kidney disease such as glomerulonephritis before initiating disease-specific therapy. Kidney biopsy is performed to identify the cause of CKD when a glomerulonephritis or unexplained tubulointerstitial disease is likely. It is not performed if the kidney is less than 9 centimeters which indicates that the patient has chronic, irreversible CKD. Renal ultrasound is the first line imaging modality for evaluating kidney structure. The renal ultrasound findings that support a diagnosis of CKD includes reduced kidney size, such as small, shrunken kidneys of less than 10 centimeters in length in adults, increased echogenicity, the renal cortex appears more echogenic or brighter than the liver or spleen, indicating chronic parenchymal disease. The third one is thinning of the renal cortex. A thin cortex is indicative of chronic kidney damage and loss of functional nephrons, and the presence of cysts. Simple or complex cysts may be seen, particularly in conditions such as polycystic kidney disease or other cystic disorders. When to refer to a nephrologist? When patients have an acute kidney injury or an abrupt sustained fall of eGFR, or if the eGFR is less than 30, or there's a progression of chronic kidney disease, or if the patient has persistent albuminuria of at least 300, or there's presence of hematuria, or there's hypertension that is refractory to treatment with 4 or more antihypertensive agents, or if the patient has complications of CKD such as anemia, acidosis, or bone disease, or if the patient has recurrent or extensive nephrolithiasis, or if the patient has hereditary kidney disease. The goals of treatment for CKD are centered on slowing disease progression, managing complications, and improving the patient's quality of life. Renal replacement therapy includes non-operative and operative option. Non-operative options includes hemodialysis and peritoneal dialysis. An operative option includes kidney transplantation. Dialysis has two main functions: solute clearance and ultrafiltration. The mnemonic AEIOU includes the major indications for dialysis. A is for acidosis if the patient has severe with a pH of less than 7.2 acidosis and refractory to bicarb treatment, or if the patient is unable to give bicarb due to volume overload. E is for electrolytes, usually hyperkalemia of more than 6.5, or if with EKG changes related to hyperkalemia. I is for ingestions, which includes lithium or ethylene glycol. O is for overload, fluid overload refractory to diuretics and causing life-threatening conditions such as pulmonary edema. U is for uremia, and this includes patients who are confused or with pericarditis, neuropathy, seizures, platelet dysfunction with severe bleeding, and intractable nausea or vomiting. An arteriovenous fistula should be ordered at least 2 months or preferably more before the estimated GFR drops below 15 in patients who chooses hemodialysis, allowing sufficient time for the fistula to mature. Patients who reach CKD stage 4, which correlates to a glomerular filtration rate of less than 30, should be seeing a nephrologist and educated about kidney failure and treatment options, including kidney transplantation. Compared to long-term dialysis, kidney transplantation has been shown to improve both quality of life and survival. After kidney transplantation, patients receive immunosuppressive medications to prevent their immune system from rejecting the kidney allograft. So, chronic kidney disease is a serious and often under-recognized condition that can significantly impact the patient's health and quality of life. Early detection, effective management, and prevention of progression are key to improving outcomes. Thank you.